Greetings and good day everyone. Today I'm going to talk about Ijarah Muntahia Bittamleek, which is an important concept in Islamic finance. In simple word, it is a contract where a bank leases an asset to a customer, and at the end of the lease, the customer can become the owner of the asset. This contract is fully Sharia compliant, which means it avoids interest, also known as riba, and follow Islamic rules. Ijarah Muntahia Bittamleek is a contract where the bank owns the asset and leases it to the customer for an agreed period. The customer pays rents regularly and uses the asset during the lease. And at the end of the lease, the customer can own the asset in one of three ways: through a small payment, through a gift, which is called as hibah, or a pre-agreed sales. The key point is no interest is involved, so it is fully halal. There are three main pillars in this contract. Number one is lessor, the bank. The bank is the owner of the asset. It ensures that the asset follows Islamic rules and it is responsible for managing the lease fairly. The bank also oversees the transfer of ownership at the end of the lease. Second is lease, the customer. The customer uses the asset and pays the agreed rent on time. They are responsible for minor maintenance like fuel, cleaning, or small repairs. And at the end of the lease, if all payments are complete, the customer becomes the owner. Second is lease period. This is an agreed period between the bank and the customer. During this time, the customer pays rents and uses the asset ownership remains the bank until the all payment. The process of Ijarah Muntahia Bittamleek. First, the customer will choose the asset that they want, such as car, house, or equipment. Once the asset is chosen, the bank will purchase it and become the legal owner. After that, the bank and the customer will sign the contract of lease agreement, where they agree on the lease period, the rental amount, and how the ownership will be transferred at the end of the lease. During the lease period, the customer starts using the asset and pay the agreed rent regularly to the bank. Both parties have responsibilities while the lease is ongoing. The bank is responsible for major risks such as a serious damage or loss, while the customer is responsible for daily maintenance, small repairs, fuel, and cleaning. At the end of the lease, ownership of the asset is transferred to the customer. This can happen through a small payment, a gift, or hibah, or a pre-agreed purchase. Once this transfer is completed, the customer becomes the full owner of the asset, and the bank no longer holds any ownership. Issue in Ijarah Muntahia Bittamleek is the customer's responsibility to maintain the asset properly. Since the customer is the one who are using the asset, they must take care of it and perform minor maintenance such as keeping it clean, fueling it, and fixing small problems. Therefore, it is important for the contract to clearly define the customer's responsibility. Clear rules prevent misunderstanding and ensure that the lease remains fair and Sharia compliant. Importance of the contract. This contract is important for two main reasons. First, it provides interest-free financing, which is a key principle in Islamic finance. In conventional loans, banks charge interest on money, which is forbidden in Islam. In Ijarah Muntahia Bittamleek, the bank earns revenue through rental payment for the use of the asset, making the contract is fully Sharia compliant. This allows customers to acquire valuable assets such as car, houses, or equipment without violating Islamic law. Second, the contract encourages long-term asset ownership. Customer can use the asset immediately while paying for it gradually. This is especially helpful for people who do not have the full amount upfront to buy an expensive asset. For example, a family can use a car or house while paying rent monthly, and after completing the lease, they become the full owners. This step-by-step approach makes ownership more accessible and help customers manage their finance responsibly. Furthermore, the contract promotes fairness and trust as both parties know their rights and responsibility clearly. In conclusion, Muntahia Bittamleek is a key contract Islamic finance. It allows customers to use an asset before fully owning it, defines clear responsibility for the customer and avoid interest-based transaction. By providing interest-free financing and encouraging long-term ownership, it is fair, ethical and Sharia compliant way to acquire asset gradually while following Islamic law.